Hello and welcome to In the Pocket. My name's Jonny.
And my name's Chris.
Two totally average bass players, and we're here to talk all about that bass, as well as answering your questions at home. Each week we take a look at the latest news and break down some downs, or to give you the lowdown on the low end. Chris, my dear, how are you doing?
I'm a man on the edge, Jonny. How are you?
He is edging, everybody. My goodness.
Emotionally edging.
Emotionally edging. Fantastic. Well, I think that's only a good thing. I am good, thank you. I've been a busy boy. Lots of stuff coming in. I'm surrounded by cardboard boxes and mess around this, which is great. Good to be busy, but yes, very busy nonetheless. I wish I could be busier in a way. Even though I'm super busy, I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do more of this. But it's having the time to do it, which is the challenge. But there we go.
We share differences and opinions on that. I am begging to be less busy.
Well, that's, as a working, playing bass player, that is no doubt a good thing, a good place to be. Are you doing, obviously we're in the depths of wedding season at the moment, coming out of it slightly as we get towards. No, he's not.
No.
When do you find? When does it calm down?
October.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's what I.
Loads.
That's what I was meaning.
Yeah. It calms down a bit in October, but at the moment, it's actually getting busier as I move into like the back end of August. It's been mental, and then September is actually the busiest month for me this year.
Woof.
It's relentless.
Oof.
And then on top of that, the day this comes out, I'm doing double duty for two tribute bands at the same festival. So it's an hour of Kasabian and an hour of Arctic Monkeys, which actually has been really enjoyable. But holy moly, it's been a lot of learning alongside all the other stuff. Like 10 minutes before we jumped on to record this, I was learning Voulez-Vous by ABBA, which by the way. Exactly, which, by the way, dear bass player, if you fancy having a really... it took me about 25 minutes, but if you fancy having a truly awful 25 minutes, give that one a spin. It is ABBA. ABBA is not a laughing matter.
No.
Mamma mia.
It's one of those bands that, like we were saying before we started recording, that it's one of those bands that you'd imagine, like, oh, ABBA? No one recognises the bass. How hard could that be? And then... they're dancing around the fretboard the entire song, and you just didn't notice.
Oh yeah. Which song is it? There's one, and I've not actually had to learn that one. It's one of the really big ABBA songs, but it's not Mamma Mia. It's not Does Your Mother Know? It's not Voulez-Vous. It's not even Dancing Queen. There's another one that's like a really big ABBA song that I've not had to learn. But if you go on YouTube, the guy who recorded it, there's a video of him playing it like in the studio, and it's just
relentless.
Yeah, because he knows he doesn't have to learn it. He's just playing it live. He's not playing it live. He's just like, that'll do.
Don't matter. Whatever.
What do you mean? None of it ever repeats ever.
Well, that's like Elton John's bass player. Like
same thing.
Yeah, you listen to like Step Into Christmas. Oh my goodness! Like that thing's all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of love that, and kind of it brings me great
cool.
anger.
Yeah, it is cool, but when you've got to learn, if I had all day to just sit and like, I'm going to really enjoy myself, just going to make my way through this song, really just focus on like the journey of learning it, make it fun, all that kind of thing. That would be lovely. Learning songs like that is really nice. You don't get to do that when you do what I do for a living. It's always just like, hiya, mate, can you learn about 20 of these in about an hour?
90% misery.
Yeah,
cool.
It's ridiculous. It's relentless. It feels very... I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful that I get to do this for a living, but at times, holy moly, it's hard work. Anyway, would you like to tell the lovely people what we are doing in today's episode?
I would love to. I came up with about 6 segues when we were talking then. I was like, oh, I can do it. And then did not. Yes, today we are looking at amplification, because up top, I'm going to tell you why we're recording this episode on amplification specifically, because we're giving away an amp. Oh my goodness, dear listener. And I say dear listener because we're teaming up once again with Guitar Nerds to give away, and bear with me one moment whilst I grab it from behind me.
Oh, have you got it?
I've got it. The Seymour Duncan Power Stage. It's not focusing. That's fine. This is essentially, there we go. Whoa. If you haven't seen one of these before, you might be familiar that Seymour Duncan created the Power Stage 700, which was a pedal board friendly power amp, essentially. So if you're using a quad Cortex or any kind of modeling unit, line 6, whatever, you can use it to power a cab, essentially. And what they've done is done a bass specific version in a head format. So essentially it's a power amp to be designed to go along with units such as that. But it is a little more than that, because we do have a built-in 5-band EQ with, well, adjustable frequencies for the mid-range and the high mids, yeah, and a drive as well. So it is a little bit more than that. You can bypass all of those features, have 700 watts at your fingertips. It is, I've not plugged this in yet. I'm very excited to do just that. I'm going to be reviewing this one, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, it's essentially an amp designed to go with your multi-effects and your modelers and all that malarkey. Basically, if you're ampless, this could be a really nice addition for when you do need a bit of power that you don't need to change all of it up on stage. Pretty cool, Seymour Duncan. Thanks very much. Yeah, they have supplied this one to us all to give away to the lovely people. Now, this is slightly different to the normal Patreon giveaways. This is for anyone, okay? So you don't need to be a patron to enter this one. All you have to do is head over to our Instagram page and make sure you are following us on Instagram at In The Pocket Pod, Guitar Nerds at Guitar Nerds, and then Chris and I as well, okay? All the rules will be in the pinned post that's going out up on there, which by the time this releases will be online. So yeah, that is why we're doing it today, and we're going to have a look at amps and talk about our favorite or dream amp setups. But yeah, I just thought I'd say that up top of this amazing opportunity of what we're going to do. But yeah, exciting stuff indeed.
Very, very, very nice. I don't get to talk about amps very often because, truth be told, Johnny, I never flipping use one.
Well, there you
I've
go.
been given the option for the gig I've got tonight. We're recording this on Thursday, and it's out on Saturday. But I've been given the option of, do you want to bring your amp, or do you want to just not bother and be completely on in-ears? I'm going just in-ears.
Given the choice.
No, given the choice. That being said, though, the gig I've got on the day, well, I'll tell you why. I think it is dependent on the gig for specific reasons. So the gig tonight is a 8-piece wedding band playing pretty much like disco, funk, couple of like more modern pop songs like, you know, Murder on the Dance Floor, stuff like that. Not really too much in the way of like rock, if you know what I mean. Like, it gets a bit lively towards the end. There's like things like Seven Nation Army and Mr. Brightside and Don't Stop Believing, you know, these kind of things. But that's only like right at the end for like the big finale. Most of this is like pretty like keyboard heavy. There's a horn section, you know, all that kind of stuff. Lots of vocals. I'm taking the anagram on my little anagram preset that I've made, and I think you've got two options here. Either way, I've hit the gong again. Either way, front of house are getting straight from the anagram. They're getting like the Noble DI, the harmonic booster, doing just adding a little bit of character, just a little bit, and then a cab, like an IR. That's going off to front of house. I don't really think I'm going to be doing any effect stuff at any point during this gig. So I think it's better for me, and by me I mean the band, that they don't have a bass player on stage, like a live bass amp, pushing, you know, sound into the backs of the vocalists' heads, into the back of the horn section's heads, because I'll probably be at the back. The guitarist is just going DI as well. It's a very like tame environment. The drummer won't be playing heavy, all that kind of stuff. In those situations, I don't want to bring an amp, and I don't think you should bother. And if you do, maybe you bring a proper teeny weeny one. It just gives a little bit for you, and that's it. However, Saturday's gig is like both sets are like 4-piece band. They're not on in-ears. The drummer's on a click, but I won't hear the click. It's all wedges out front. It's all that kind of thing. It's a festival. I think it's appropriate in that scenario to have like a bit of volume on stage. You're playing like the set is all like the lively Arctic Monkeys songs. So it's all quite a lot of forward momentum. I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, Brian Storm, Are You Mine, all those kind of things. And then the Kasabian songs, like Kasabian is like a really bass guitar heavy band. Lots of like riffs, really distorted. But again, it's energy. Like I need to bring a lot of energy to the stage. Do I think I could do that without an amp? Yes. Is it going to be a bit easier to bring that energy if I'm bringing some volume with me as well? Also, yes. So there you go. Amp, not amp.
So you are taking an amp to the festival?
I'm taking. There's an amp on Saturday's gig, which is the Tribute Band Festival, but not tonight, which is the very corporate like funk wedding gig.
I was confused then because I thought you said that you weren't taking one for the tribute one. I was like, oh, really?
Maybe I did, which is not what I meant at all.
I see.
No. No amp tonight for the wedding. Definitely bringing an amp for the festival, and it's the big amp. Like I'm bringing the Ashdown 410 as well for as much. Yeah. But I think, and we talked about this before, 500 watts is. You said 500 watts is more than fine for you, didn't you?
It depends. It depends. At practice, yeah, I think it's fine because most of the time I'm like stood immediately next to my amp. And that's always fine. For festivals, I've played through like an Ampeg 810 with my 500 watt head, and that's to like flipping really push it. Yeah. And I'm sending a hot signal through as well. So
yeah, I've noticed when I'm doing big stages, I've got to really push it and then start doing mad things with the EQ to get me heard. Because front of house won't hear this. Front of house are hearing the pedal board, but I'm talking like I've turned the shape filter off, so there's a lot more mid-range, and I'm turning the mid-range up loads, and the volume's up really high. So it's like what I'm hearing is like quite a nasally sound. It's not a lot of low end because I just need to hear the actual notes I'm playing.
Yeah.
So I would love a bit of headroom. In a perfect world, I'd ask the lovely people at Ashdown very nicely if I could swap the 500 for one of the bigger Route Masters. But 800. This is... Yeah, 800 would be lovely, but this is not a conversation I've had. And perhaps I will. We shall see.
Well, there we go. I suppose whenever you do need an amp, it is for a bigger gig, normally.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, otherwise I would use the 115 that's behind me right now, which is, bloody lovely. Which is really nice, because when the lovely people at Ashdown very nicely agreed to send us some heads and cabs, we both asked for the 210, didn't we?
No, I originally was looking at the. I didn't go for a cab in the end because I said don't worry because I already had an Ashdown 410, and I was like, I won't put you out. I don't need one.
Yeah, I didn't. And they said to me, "What do you want?" And I went, "Well, I'd love a 210. Love a 210 ideally." I'm like, "Okay." And then they said to me, We don't have a 210 right now. We will in a few weeks, but we don't have one right now. We're going to send you the 1x15 just to use for a bit, and then when it's ready, we'll swap them over. And the time came, and I was like, no, please, I'd like to keep the 1x15 if that's all right. I really, really like. Become a bit of a fan of the old 15 these days. In my old age, I really like it.
A decent 15 is great, and actually, like old school 15s have a lot of top end to them. Actually, traditionally, you're like, like a modern 15-inch speaker is all lows, and then you have the 10 inches with it. to provide all the top end, to complement it.
Yeah.
'Cause one of the favorite rigs I played through was the first time I played an Ashdown rig was a 410 on top and a 115 below. And that was like the perfect sound. It was a full valve ABM.
Yeah. Well, this has got some sort of like high filter switch where you can roll it off and it'll have that really nice tubby, vintagey, not vintage as we said, that kind of traditional. It's just like nice big low end. But then when you flick that on, it's actually on the sly quite a bright cabinet, which is obviously a very, very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed.
I don't have my Ashdown cab anymore.
I
do.
The other one, the little one.
I've got the little, the two. You can't see it out shop. I've got the 210 here now, which was with the mini rig. But no, I don't have the 410 anymore. I'm using the barefaced 310 kit now. So that's where that went. Which is super light, nice wheels, good to go.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about dream rigs today. Before we do that, I do have some small bits of news. It's not often that we do 2 news bits in a row, but there were some bits I really wanted to talk about. I'm actually I did have some more, but I think I'm gonna keep it pretty trim this week, because the most exciting one, and I don't know if you've seen this, Chris, but I am really excited about this because it's something Fender have done that is just different. Like, not
what?
Just, yeah, I know, right? Huh?
Let's do it again. Hang on. Ready?
Perfect. So, Adrian Younge is a LA-based producer, and they have done him a signature jazz bass, in quotes, because I've never seen Fender do a bass quite like this, and it gets crazier, let me tell you. So obviously it's quite a specific thing he wanted. This is a custom shop one, so I don't know if it'll be available, but this is going to be mega bucks.
It'd be eye-watering, be a couple of $3,000 or something silly. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So I'm going to dive straight into it. I'm going to play this video here just whilst we're talking about it and going through the specs, just so the people at home can see it. But essentially, this is the Adrian Younge jazz bass, but it's got a P-bass pickup, this insane silver sparkle finish with a matching headstock. Hello. Rosewood fretboard. It's absolutely beautiful. But it's like a jazz bass / P bass you've never seen. You've got a Curtis Novak bisonic pickup in the neck. Yes, so good. And then this custom pick guard, which kind of looks more like a Rickenbacker, I'd say, the pick guard on this, cross with like a Marcus Miller jazz bass, cross with a 51 P bass. It's really, really cool. Definitely go and check it out. It's kind of that unique look that doesn't look too crazy, Then it's got a built-in fuzz circuit. Then it's got a built-in square wave tremolo.
No way.
Yeah. So each of those massive knobs that are on there, you pull them out to activate each thing. So you pull it out, it's volume and tone. You pull it out to activate the fuzz. And you pull the other one out to activate the tremolo. And then it's got a pickup selector.
Wow.
Then...
pardon? There's more?
Then, past the 7th fret, it's fretless.
Johnny, when you turn it around, is there an air fryer built in?
Yes, it's sponsored by Ninja.
And you can pick this up from any Aldi middle aisle.
Yeah, coming soon. The Aldi bass. Wow, this is an absolutely insane thing. Obviously custom built for what he wanted. He had a jazz bass apparently that was fretless from that way up, because he said, like, I don't want fretless for down here. I only wanted it for the higher register, which is pretty wild. But what they've done is raised the fretboard slightly on the fretless bit, so the action is kind of the same. Like, it's the same level as the frets. If you see what I mean.
Yes,
so it's not just like the frets just don't just get removed at that point, because then you'd end up with a slightly different action, because do you see what I mean? Because the strings would be then hitting the frets.
Yeah, because your action would be ginormous on the fretless bit.
Yeah.
You've just lost all the frets to compensate. Wow. Will you be getting one?
Well, it's
interesting.
It's perfect for every single bass player, I think. It's all you ever need.
This is easily the most versatile bass we have ever covered here on In the Pocket.
Well, yeah, and versatility isn't normally something I'm like that I care about that much necessarily, but like that is so cool. I love this, not gonna lie.
I you know what? Look, it's not for me at all. I think it's very silly, but we can't sit here and say Fender are really boring. They never do anything interesting. It's always reissues of the same P bass over and over again, and then mourn when they do something quite frankly insane like this. But no, this is really cool.
I've just seen how much it costs.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
4.5. Well,
you were actually every single figure then you said was correct.
5,400.
No. Instead of 4,500, let's try adding a 1 to the start of that number.
Sorry. Okay. So it's £15,400.
No, it's £14,500.
Oh, that's much better.
Cheaper than you thought.
We'll get 2.
Yeah, it's just so unobtainium.
Johnny, for £3,000 more, you can have my car, my actual car. My car doesn't have a fuzz circuit, so I guess fuck you, Nissan.
Yeah, does this bass have a clutch though?
It is clutch, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
I retract everything. I've just said. This is stupid. That does not need to be 14. Is that in pounds or dollars?
That's dollars. So it will be about.
It's still going to be about 12, 13, 14 grand. Yeah. It doesn't need to be that much. They've done this. They've priced it at this, so nobody buys it, so they don't have to make one.
They're like, no.
That's why.
This is hard work, this. Let's not.
They were sat there going, I think we're just going to go back to making the same jazz bass, if that's okay with you.
And the world said, yes, please.
Well, okay. Well done, Fender. Cool.
Obviously,
I bet Adrian likes it, and that's totally fine. It is for
absolutely.
Him. Yeah, and it looks cool.
It looks incredible. It is a masterpiece, in terms of building it and all the finishing touches. And it's one guy making all of these from the custom shop. It's not like, you can't compare it to some of their other products. But yeah, no one's going to buy that, surely.
No.
Yeah, it's too specific for someone to want to buy it for that price.
Well, but isn't that the point of something being custom shop?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Because someone will look at say your Alpha bass, for example, and go, that much for that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, price is obviously subjective to the value, and that bass holds a lot of value to you. It won't hold the same value to someone else. And this obviously means a lot to this Adrian guy, and I totally get that. But has he paid 15 grand? Has he paid 15 grand for this?
I very much doubt so.
I think he's not paid anything for it personally.
I don't think that's part of the deal.
Yeah, I know. Blimey. So yeah, Fender, just let us know, mate. I'll happily design something, and you don't have to charge that much for it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, done. Okay.
Done.
The next one I want to talk about is a company that we rarely kind of talk about on here because they're mostly guitar stuff. And this is, to be fair, mostly guitar stuff in here. But there is a bass angle and I want to talk about it. So Boss, I think today at time of recording, announced this pedal. Have you seen this?
Only because you shared it on your Instagram story, but I didn't have time to look at it.
The PX1. So essentially, this is 16 Boss pedals in one Boss pedal. So it's essentially like a multi-effects, but for Boss, but in that classic housing that we all know and love. I think this is really, really nice. A great idea from Boss, for you to try out all of their pedals, or to, have these digital recreations of them that you can load in via USB or the app, and then change on the fly, or just have one in there if you really wanted to. I think this is really cool. Really, really neat idea. Looks really clean. And yeah, I'm excited for them. I bring it up because obviously most of the stuff in here is guitar stuff, but there is an OC2 in there, and you know what us bass players are like. Everybody loves an OC2. So if you're looking at getting one, but want to try out some other stuff maybe as well, this might be a cool one because there's all of the classics within here. I've been particularly interested in this because I recently bought one of these, which is a classic Boss SD1, the Super Overdrive. I bought that to put in a parallel chain on my pedal board to try out this drive sound over my bass because I like it, but I didn't want to lose any low end. So personally, I want the PX1 to put in that chain and test out all of the drives on bass.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a place for something like this. And I think it's really good for, like how you had that Zoom bass multi-effects sat on your pedal board. And also, I guess this was how people would use something like the Helix 1. It's called the Helix 1? The little one?
That's right.
Yeah. So it's like, I would use this, like, you've got your compressor, you've got your preamp, you've got your drives that you really like. You might have an octave pedal that you particularly really like, but then this could sit here, and it's like most of the time it's not used for anything, but on that rare occasion you need some chorus. On that rare occasion you need a phaser, some tremolo, some delay, a different drive sound, these kind of things. You can just have that sat there. Like, I don't need a phaser pedal, but there is a phaser in something like the Dark Glass Anagram or a different multi-effects pedal where if something came up where I really needed a phaser, something super specific, I know that's in there. And this could serve that same purpose for someone who doesn't want a fully digital workspace on their pedal board. They want, like, I don't know, an Origin Effects bass rig, a Sans amp, a Dark Glass P7K, a compressor, and then just this at the end. As like a kind of, this is my little wild card. Oh, we're playing this tonight in the wedding band. It actually really needs a chorus. Like, that's really important. There's a chorus. Okay, that's cool. There's a chorus in here.
And that's absolutely how I used my Zoom pedal before, as a wild card pedal. And I really like that phrase, actually. I think that really suits it because it is just like, well, this is like for whatever I need, it's there. What I'd like to know is whether you can activate. I don't think you can activate two at once on this, like having always on.
I highly doubt that. Yeah.
Like you can in something like the Zoom pedal. You can have things always. You can create a little signal chain within it and have multiple things on. So value for money wise, the Zoom is and it's bass orientated. The Zoom is probably better, I would say. But this is cool, and I like that. It's simple. It's just the Boss stuff. It's 3 controls for everything. It's really, really simple. And it comes with all the effects that you'd want from Boss, and more coming soon, apparently. It is about £200, I think. So I'm torn. I know that this is very technical, obviously. I'm torn as to whether I think that's a good price or not. If it was like £180, maybe I'd be like, yeah, okay. I think it's about 220 from memory.
Yes, so that 150 to 200 might have been a bit more appealing.
But then considering how much, because are you going to use all of the pedals? That's the question. Because most people know they're not going to use all the pedals on here. So people would say, well, it's got all of those pedals. So if you owned all of those individually, it would cost this much.
Thousands. Yeah.
So I guess technically it's a good value for money based on that. But if you were to look at like that Zoom pedal, for instance, that's that times 10, I would say. But there we go. A cool product. I would really like to try one because I really like Boss products, and I think the casing is genius. And yeah, I think it's a really clever idea for them to do something like this, and it's nice and neat, which is cool.
I agree. I agree. I think this looks really good. And like I said, there's I can immediately see a reason for having it, which is nice. Sometimes we look at stuff and go, yeah, but why would I want that? Why would I actually, and how would I actually use that? Whereas this seems really clear to me how I would use it. And I think you're kind of the same. That kind of like wild card pedal thing. But yeah, this is really cool. It's on the pricier side, but nothing seems to be cheap anymore. So
no, considering you pay £200 for a single drive pedal, yeah, maybe.
Especially combo amps.
Yeah, blimey. People were agreeing with us in the comments like, yeah, that's a mad price. Like, these are crazy.
Yeah, except though, one person mentioned a TC Electronic head and cap, which doesn't seem to be fully discontinued yet, but it is an old model. And that was cheap as chips. Yeah. It was like a what? It was over 500 watts, wasn't it?
I think
like
so.
A really loud, clean bass amp with a couple of like nice EQ options and like the cab was like 400 and something quid.
Yeah. And
mental.
I think was it the BQ 500 head? That's
I think
like
it's called that. Yeah.
160 quid and it's 500 watts.
Bananas. Absolutely. That is bananas in pajamas, that is. Yeah, that bass is running down the stairs.
Speaking of basses running down the stairs, this one is the last bit I will show you, which is very quickly Jackson, who rarely put out new basses. I've just put out this bass, and I think it is one of the cleanest looking Jacksons I've ever seen. This is a limited edition Jackson CB1A bass that they brought out in this kind of new line of Pro Plus guitars, which they've done with a flying V, a wild shape that I don't even know how to explain.
The Kelly, it's the Jackson Kelly.
The Jackson Kelly, is it? Oh wow, I detest that.
I almost bought one when I was 15. It had EMG pickups and a whammy bar.
So that is the most 15-year-old sentence in the world.
Funk yeah. Didn't have a girlfriend, but I almost had one of those.
But it didn't matter.
It's basically the same.
But the bass is actually quite modest. The classic Jackson shark fins and headstock, of course, but with like a P-bass style body and a single humbucker, a Fishman Fluence humbucker or soap bar in the bridge position with a high mass bridge. I think this is really smart. Really like it. It's got a stacked 2-band EQ. Which is cool. So I'm assuming the controls are. Here we go. It's a 3-way toggle for 3 distinct voices. So that's the Fishman voice, and then a master volume, I assume. So yeah, pretty. It's a push pull that splits it into a single coil as well. I think that's a really smart way of putting a lot of sounds into a really minimalist looking guitar.
Agreed. Because a million knobs. Would ruin that because it's such a sleek minimal design. I love the binding on this. Love it.
All black with the cream binding. Oh, it looks so good. I would actually be really like. I'd love one of these. I think it's really cool.
This is 10 out of 10 for me. I want one of these. This is nice.
I thought you'd like this. It's also $1,500, which with the Fishman Fluence pickup in it, and it's limited edition. I actually think it's a crazy price.
I don't think that's bad at all. In a perfect world, I'd like to see it closer to $1,100, but everything's just like gone up now, so there's not really anything you can do in terms of affordability. But I think that looks really good. And also for the price, doesn't seem too bad at all, because those Fishman Fluence pickups, I think if you want to buy them separately, they're quite expensive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they are. It's a really premium thing. You see basses that are like $3,000 with those pickups in. So yeah, that's cool. Not that they cost that much money. That's not what I'm saying. But expensive basses have them.
That's something I expect to see on a much more expensive bass, like the Abassi basses and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Abassis basses, I think you mean.
The Abassis basses, of course. Yeah. My mistake.
The only letdown for this, I think, is that it's a 34-inch scale. I think they should have done a 35 with this.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Yeah. A 35 would be cool in terms of like, get it in, drop C, crack on, that kind of thing. But come on. they're not gonna do they're not gonna not do it in 34. It's 34 is the norm.
It is the norm. It is the
This
norm.
is a 5 though. If that came out as a 5, I'd be like, that needs to be 35 inches. That would be so cool. At least I thought you were about to tell me it's a short scale. And I'm like, what on earth, earth is wrong with you people?
Yeah, no, luckily not. We love a short scale here in the Pocket podcast, but not for something like this. That's clearly, it's called pure metal concert bass, for God's sake. So yeah. But yeah, cool. I don't dislike it for being 34. I just feel like that would have been appropriate given the target audience and what this is probably most likely going to be used for. 34 is still absolutely fine.
I think you should get one and put flats on it.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Put it in like the scoopiest setting ever, in the modern Fishman voice. Hell yeah.
I'm running it through a Dark Glass X7 with flats.
Yeah, me.
Wonderful. Yeah, love it. Yeah, I love that. I really dig that. I think Jackson have nailed that. Hit the brief perfectly, I think.
Yeah, I actually think Jackson are a really underrated brand for bass. Every bass I've played of theirs has been really, really nice, actually, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big fan of that. Chris, before we talk about amps, I want to talk about a patreon.com/in the pocket.
What is that, Johnny? Please do tell me more.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to tell me. I would like to know, please, the different tiers, what people can do to support us financially should they want to.
Exactly. Should you wish. No one's got a gun to your head, not that you can currently see. But anyway, we have 3 different tiers on the In the Pocket Patreon. We have our lowest tier, which is just a little thank you from you to us. Very much appreciated. You don't get any extras for this. It's just a little donation that goes into our pockets every month, which helps keep the lights on. Like I said, I think you're looking at about 6 lights right now, if I remember correctly. I've got 3 on. Have you got 3 on, Johnny?
I've got 3 on.
You've got 3 on. 6 lights for a £1 donation. Thank you so much.
Actually, I've got 4 on, actually. Sorry, that's it. Yeah, we're gonna need another Patreon.
We're gonna need a bigger light. And I want to upgrade mine. But anyway, that's not the point. But yes, it helps keep the lights on, keep all this running. When we go do our little trips away, it helps pay for petrol in our cars and a little bed for me and him to share, because somehow, despite the fact that I think we could afford our own bedrooms, you keep putting us in the same bed together. Interesting.
Whoops.
Whoopsie, I've done it again.
Oh, there was a mistake. Oh
no. And oh, Chris, you forgot to pack all your underwear again. Anyway, that is our first tier. Our second tier gives you access to our Patreon-only section, which we will be diving into at the end of this episode. That's just a little bonus bit for you. Well, it's not little. Sometimes it's anywhere between half an hour and an hour. So extra bits. Also, when we have a guest on, everyone who is in our tier 2 section and above, after we've done the main episode with the guest, we'll move into a Q&A with them. And if you're a Patreon member, your questions will always be answered. So this gives you direct access to any guests that we have on in the future. And I'm telling you right now, without giving anything away, me and you had a little conversation this morning, Johnny, about someone who is interested in coming on the podcast. And it's a whopper. It's a biggie. It's a biggie.
Very excited.
Exactly. We've got, and I will announce it here, live on the podcast. Fuck, I forgot the guy's name. It's a joke. I'm not announcing the actual guest. I was going to make a joke and I forgot the guy's name.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. I reckon Paul McCartney would be a mint guest. That would be well good.
Obviously, that's like the most unobtainium guest ever.
We lied and said he was coming on for April
I know.
2 years ago. Two people from Wigan DM'd me and was like, "Oh yeah, just saw that, mate. Congrats, that's really cool." Oh, you forgot. But anyway, James Jameson is coming on the podcast in a few weeks. Happy days. Anyway, so that's our tier 2. Tier 3 grants you access to everything we have just talked about. Plus, it enters you into our monthly giveaways. We've given away basses. We've given away pedals. We are slowly clearing out mine and Johnny's sheds. 1 month at a time.
Mm-hmm,
And that is our lovely, lovely Patreon. If you are feeling generous, it'd be very much appreciated. Don't ever feel like you have to. The podcast itself will always be free. This is just a little extra bit that just helps us out if you like what you're seeing.
Yes. Well, also with that tier 3, don't forget, Chris, you also get a shout out in the episode.
You do?
Which I'm about to do right now. Super thanks to our top tier 3 patrons. And they are Peter Sillery, Tinder, I nearly messed that up. Carlos Bonas, Jim Goldstein, Tom Kuistra, Daniel McColgan, Frank Bethel, Sam Matons, Travis Williams, Kaddish D. Radish, Eric Molyneux, Charles Johnson, Dean Gordon, Daryl Hazelhurst Jeevens, Alan Wadey, Alexander Shawn, Ethan Eichhorn, Justin A., Jonas on bass, Joost Krohn, Mark W., and Brett Linkowski. Thank you so much, you wonderful, wonderful people. Shall we now talk about some amplification?
Let's talk about the reason people will kick off in the comments. Because someone will come to this and they'll be like, just so you know, everyone, it took 35 minutes for them to start talking about amps.
Yeah, welcome to
we get that every time. Yeah, welcome to a podcast, mate.
Yeah. Have you heard of it? No.
Fools.
Well, I've not really thought about how we'll talk about this necessarily. So I think that maybe we just talk about some of our favorite amps, whether we've played them or not, what our experiences are, why we like them, etc. I've got a few. Would you like me to start with one?
I think you can start with one first while I eat a small piece of cottage cheese, if that's okay with you.
Not a euphemism. He's being literal, everybody.
Literally, cottage cheese is in my hand right now.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
just my hand. I've reached into the tub and pulled a handful of cottage cheese.
I pulled it straight out of his pants. Oh my God, that is disgusting. Grim. So one of my favorite amps of all time harkens back to a gig that I played. At the time I was using, I had a orange bass Terror and an Ampeg SVT 610.
Hell yeah.
It was a hell of a rig. Big ass cab with a tiny head on top. But the head, I was at a gig and the head died. One of the tubes went, which rendered it useless. So I had to borrow the support band's head. And my goodness, am I glad that happened, because it was a Gallien-Kruger 1001 RB.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Like, this thing was so much, like, at the time I was playing a Schecter Model T and I had a Sans amp and a compressor on the board. And like, it was just like perfect clarity with nice glassy top without being too harsh, and just chef. It was one of the couple of handful of times at that point in my life that I'd gone and had this moment like, oh my,
like the heavens open feeler.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this? And I fell in love with it, and since then it's always been one of my favorite amps ever. So it's very, very cool indeed. And I actually have
You're going to pick it up?
Right here. Yeah. No, I am going to pick it up, but it's going to hurt me.
I imagine it's quite heavy.
It's a beast. I didn't realise how heavy it was. Oh my gosh.
You're struggling.
There it is. I'm going to put it sideways just so you can see it all. This is the GK. It is a heavy beast. It's not actually that big though. It's not very deep, but my God, it packed full of goodness. That weight, that's all the tone that is stuck inside. It's leaking out. These things are just awesome. I know Flea was very famous for using these, or like the old school ones. This is the 1001 RB, so it's the one with like loads of controls on the front. But yeah, they stopped making them for a while, and they've actually just started again with their new like all tube, but it's like a tube version, I think, with a cab sim on it, that they announced at NAMM. So yeah, I was very lucky that they don't come up for sale that often, but they're not actually that expensive, really. They're not like a vintage amp where it's thousands of pounds. I bought this, and this was a good deal for it, but I bought this the other day from a fairly local person in South Wales for 400, under 450 quid.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good. It was one of those things where I was like, I absolutely shouldn't be buying this right now.
Oh yeah, because you messaged me saying I don't think I'm going to get this, and I did I ring you or voice noted you?
No, you were voice noting.
I think a voice noted you saying, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Was it on the podcast that we said about this?
Oh, I think you said you're not going to buy it. And I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" You talk to me about wanting one of these amps weekly.
Yeah,
like you clearly want one, and also at the end of the day, like just sell it on in a bit. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Well, that was my thinking as well. Was like, if I end up being like, this is just gathering dust, or like it's not doing anything, then yeah, I'll sell it on. I'm yet to plug it in. I've plugged it in, but not turned it up to like proper volume.
But you've not really like got it cooking.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's all solid state, so it's not like it's gonna need.
Yeah, you don't get more out of it the harder
cookage.
You drive it and stuff.
Yeah. And it's not really a driven sound. It hasn't got like a drive control on it or anything. It's all super clean, which I kind of like out of a solid state amp. That's what you want, really. So yeah, very, very nice. Yeah, it was kind of a subtle brag, that one, to be like, my dream amp, I've got it. But yeah, I just really love these amps, and I'm excited for Monday. I'm going to plug it in properly.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a good time. Chris to serve. Can you please tell me one of your favorite amps?
Well, I've got a few, so we'll come back to me. But one that kind of jumped out at me a little bit, just while you were speaking, then I'll start with this one. So back in, coming up to a year ago now, I was playing for an act and open for the Sex Pistols, and we were there early enough for the sound check. Now, the Sex Pistols are a real band. They don't do their own sound check. Don't be silly. The techs do it. So basically, for a second, I'm watching this sound check, and they're like, "Okay, can we check the bass?" Bass player starts playing this bass line, and it's like a P bass. It sounded like it was rounds, but they'd been knocking around a bit, if you know what I mean. They weren't super new, but the tone, oh my God. Like, there was just a little bit of sizzle, just a little bit, only a little bit her, not a lot. Really heavy mid-range, really heavy, not too bright, but just really just massive fat tone. I can't tell you whether it was a combination of a DI and the amp I'm about to talk about. I know for a fact Glenn Matlock doesn't use any pedals because there was no pedals anywhere near his bass amp. And in the what felt like 1 second I got to talk to him, he did mention, he was like, "No, don't do any of them pedals, straight in." And I was like, legend. But that amp is a Fender Bassman. And since that point, I've always kind of wanted one a little bit, if you know what I mean. And I know someone on the other side of this call, aka you, has got hold of one. Gone from having no amps to 2. You little scallywag. But yeah, Fender Bassman. I think I really like them. I think I would only have one at the point, though. For me, though, what I do right now, no point. Literally no point. But if I was playing in like a kind of rocky act, big venues, because Glenn Matlock had 2 and 2 810s, and it was just that was just on. No, he doesn't use a pick, anything like that. There's no pedals going on, anything like that. It was just that tone. Yeah, pushing forward for like the hour and a half or whatever they were on stage, and it sounded absolutely magnificent. It punched through everywhere it needed to and stayed out of the way everywhere else. It was it was just such a nice bass tone. You can hear it really clearly throughout the entire gig, but the front of house mix was so good. One of the best like mixes of a concert I've ever heard. But yes,
damn,
the Fender Bassman. Damn.
I would say you took one of my choices. That is also one of my favorites, the Fender Bassman. Probably like 7 years ago, I think, literally 7 years ago, I started really getting into Fender tones. That's why I bought my whole Fender Rumble rig. is because I was like, I'm going to get Fender-esque tones, but I can't afford that. Oh my goodness. So I got a Fender Rumble cab and the matching head, and that was great for a while. But I've always really loved that that shooby Fender Bassman goodness, because you're right. It's kind of, it kind of sounds like a clean amp that you can really push, like can do everything really well, and the drive setting on it is just so warm, and hesitant to say tubey because it literally is, but it just is. It just sounds so warm and like it's breaking up in a really nice way, because it is. But not in like a SVT way where it starts to sound a bit grim. This one sounds more like woolly in a way, and warm, rather than like it's almost doing more to the low mids, tickling the low mids from below. Imagine this: if an SVT is kind of tickling from up here above, and an SVT is kind of getting you from below. Bassman getting you from below.
Exactly.
The modern iteration of it, the Bassman 800, I believe was co-designed by Mike Dirnt as well. But in the video I saw of him doing it, he was saying that he helped design the drive section.
So nice when a bass company brings on these little local musicians to help with the manufacturing of these products. Really, really gives it back.
Yes.
Not again.
And here it is. The Fender Bassman 800. This is
massive.
Huge, absolutely ginormous head, which I was a bit sad about, actually. I knew it was big, but it doesn't fit on my cab.
Oh, on the bare face.
No, it doesn't fit. I mean, it fits, like it will fit, but like it's too wide for it.
Okay. Is it too big to go on like a big 410, like the Ashdown 410?
I would say it would fit on the Ashdown.
Yeah, but it's basically, it's not fitting on this little 1x15 behind me.
I don't think so, no. A modern band that uses that head is, do you know the band Movements? Yeah. They've got a monster bass tone in a lot of their songs. They're like the start of Lead Pipe, for instance, really great bass sound. And I believe that is a Sans amp into, or when I saw them live, it was a Sans amp into one of those. I can't remember what cab it was, probably a hired one, but yeah, that's what he was using, and I was like, holy crap, that sounds good. So if you're after a modern band that's using one in a slightly different way, maybe, then that's a good one to check out. That's my recommendation. But yeah, I am borrowing that head from my friend's dad. I literally put out a post on Instagram, and I was like, oh no, this isn't going to happen. And an hour later, I had one, and I was like, "Whoa!" The power of the internet.
The world works in mysterious ways, doesn't it?
Yeah. And so, what I'm going to do on Monday, as well as reviewing this Seymour Duncan head, I'm going to do probably like just a playing only, quick demo to fill a time when I'm on holiday. YouTube video of just my two favorite heads, and just comparing them and saying why I like them. Nice. So yeah, that kind of thing. So. Yeah. Monday's going to be a very good day, my friend. A very good day.
Very loud day. You should call the video "How's Your Head?"
Yeah,
question mark,
fully blown off,
and stick RuPaul in the thumbnail. Lovely,
fabulous.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn. Back to you.
How many would you like to do?
I don't mind really.
I can only really think of two more.
Okay, I think I know what one of yours is going to be. Let's find out.
Okay. Well, I'm banning the SVT from this conversation, I think, because I think everybody like wants an SVT, and that's fine. But my two, my dream, I'm gonna. Do you want the silly one or the one that I actually would genuinely want one day?
Well, I think do both, because I'm going to do for my next one.
The order. Which order?
Right, I see. I would like. The actual one first, please.
The actual one, very well. This comes at no surprise to you, dear Jonny Dibble. I would really like one day a Mesa Boogie 400 plus.
Oh yes,
because Jason Newsted had one, and that is good enough for me. That's the only reason. I will not elaborate. Thank you so much for watching.
Perfect. They are so good, though.
They are really cool.
Have you ever played one?
No. Never even seen one in real life. Been nowhere near one.
So I would actually really recommend the Mesa Subway. amp.
Yes, yeah. Hear a lot of good stuff about that as well.
Yeah, really, really fantastic sounding head. Which actually for you would probably be pretty good, I imagine, because it's very small. So for any
Yeah,
stuff that you'd
very
need,
true. Yeah.
but it is so expensive, so expensive.
Mesa Boogie and Nodder. For years, when I was a teenager as a guitarist, I wanted the mini rectifier.
You end up with the mini rectum instead.
Indeed. You got the dual rectifier, which is like the big, it's either 100 or 150 watts. So insanely loud, but they did like a lunchbox size one, which was like, I'm going to say 30 watts maybe. But 30 watts in guitar land is quite loud.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
That kind of thing. But it still had most of the functionality. I really wanted one. And you know what? In a minute, and I'm going to look now how much they were, because I remember being sad and basically going, I will never ever be able to afford this. Basically, let's have a look.
Well, whilst you do that, the what I would recommend is the Subway D800. That's the one that I tried.
Okay,
really, really nice. And that is that is
£1,000.
Yeah, 1,100. So
Yeah.
it is expensive, but it's not insane. It's not 14 grand.
No, the mini rectifier. They must be discontinued now. Okay, right. I think they're discontinued, but there's one on eBay for £1,500.
Wow.
And it's a 25. I think it's a 25 watt head.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not a. It's a damn. Yeah, I think they're discontinued now, which is a bit of a shame. But obviously, I'm not going to bother now. But yeah, really wanted one of those. But Mesa Boogie are just an overall expensive brand.
They are. Well, and
They are.
they've got a long legacy. So
of course,
kind of makes sense.
Let's quickly look. Let's look at how much the 400 plus is. Mesa Boogie.
They're full valve, aren't they?
I think they are. Yeah. Mesa Boogie 400 plus. I mean, it's 400 watts.
But it's valve, isn't it? So
you're dealing with 80s and 90s valve technology. The base 400. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I just saw a few on eBay for £1,000.
Yeah, I've just seen one for 1,200 euros.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. How many valves have they got in them?
I think quite a few.
Oh my goodness! I've just seen
400.
the inside of one. Yeah. 12 tubes.
There's 12. Yeah, but a lot of guitar amps are like that. Like there'll be like 6 tubes, 12 tubes.
Crikey.
Yeah, it's a tube head.
Yeah, it's power and pre, right? So
600 ohm XLR balanced out. Yeah, 500 watts at 20 ohms. I don't know what that means,
Oh
but
I'm
assuming that just means it's insane.
Yeah.
2 different inputs, 7-band graphic EQ, effects loops in the front and the back with blend controls. You got 3 different speeds for the fan, and you can fit it in a 4U rack.
Blimey.
And the tagline on the website for the 400 plus is, and I love this, no band should sound better
than its bass player. Yeah, I was just reading
Hell
that.
yeah.
I was like, does that make sense? Don't care.
No, it doesn't. That's up there with Sting saying it's not a chord until I play. I love that. I love that. But yeah, 400 plus. Oh, one day, I'd just love one. Even if I never ever used one, just if I had oodles of money, I'd have like a nice cabinet, as in not a cab, like a cabinet, and I just have a couple of like nice valve heads in there, just to look at.
My dream is to have like loads of amps set up behind me. Oof, that's the dream.
Those things are really cool. But anyway, go on. Your move, your second to last one, unless you want to just do 2, and I'll do my silly one at the end.
I've got more honourable mentions than other favourites, I'd say.
Well, why don't you roll off a couple of honourable mentions, and then I'll do my silly one to end.
Sure thing.
And you can try and guess we'll play a game to try and figure out what it is.
Okay. So for me, my honourable mentions, there's the Eden World Series. I can't remember the name of it. Fantastic sounding stuff. The XLT 410 cab I had was just like the best sounding cab I've ever heard. But just ungodly amount of weight. So I sold it because I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous. Someone needs to be paid to do this. I'm not doing it for free.
Oh, it's definitely worth saying. If I owned like a Fender Bassman or a Mesa Boogie 400 Plus, it'll be at the point where another very nice person is paid a very nice wage to sort that for me. I'm not carrying that.
The Fender Bassman's light.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But I'm lazy though. I literally just like walking in with a pedal board and a bass.
Yeah. The World Tour 800. That's what it is. Stunning sounding amp. The EBS Fafner.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, you heard me. Both of those amps have been owned by Tom Doyle of Don Broco.
Very nice.
Yeah, the Fafner in particular he had for many years, and that's like when you hear that like super love bass tone, like it's that kind of sound. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So
very nice bass tone. If you're listening, Tom, pop round anytime.
I DM'd him last night. You hadn't seen my message from about 2 years ago. So I was like,
to be fair though, you did that with the guest I was talking about earlier last night, and that's worked. So
yeah, there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, shoot your shots. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I really like the Orange AD200. I think that's an amazing sounding amp, quite unique sounding. But it doesn't have a DI.
Oh.
Which is just like the biggest joke in the world. Like, got you. It's like it was designed by Gibson or something. Like what the hell's that? So yeah, that I would say those are my honorable mentions.
Lovely. So, excuse me. I have my own honorable mention of a bass amp I really, really want to play through or own. But what? No.
You give me a clue by saying that you want to play through. Is it okay? I'm just thinking.
Play through / own. Yes. I would like you. I would like to play the yes/no game for a little bit.
Okay.
To try and figure it out. And if you give up, it's not a problem. I will tell you. Over on our Patreon. I'm kidding. No, I will not do that to people. But yes, begin. I will only answer yes or no.
Okay. The person, is it well known? Is it owned by a famous person, basically?
Yes.
Did this person play a Rickenbacker?
Yes.
I see you.
Keep going.
Did in a pack of cards?
If you're listening at home, have you figured it out yet? For God's sake.
Is the amp named or the rig named after a crime?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Is it the Murder Lemmy from Motorhead's Murder 1?
It is indeed Murder 1. I would like one day to not necessarily own, but play through Murder 1. Yes.
That is just like, probably the most famous bass amp, right? Like a singular amp, not just like the B15. I mean, like.
Yeah, like a singular. Yeah. How did you figure that out so quickly? What gave that away?
It's the handlebar moustache, man. It's just like it's giving off a certain energy. But it's just the first. It's the first amp I thought of.
Yeah, what's like an iconic amp, Murder 1. Yeah.
And when you said one, I'd like to play through. I was like,
yeah,
it's going to be that. I think it's going to be that.
Yeah,
so, pretty
very
good.
well. But yes, Murder 1.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Great shout. Who wouldn't want to play through that? And I guarantee you'd play through it and be like, that sounds horrific.
I love horrible. It. I love it. Yeah. It is mad. Like, I've seen Motorhead live, and it's like, it sounds a long time ago, and it sounded so cool. There's like I saw them at Sonisphere in 2011. Wow. And it was like Motorhead on like fairly late in the afternoon, like 5-6 p.m. And like you get into near the end of the set, they're about to play it, and you just hear it's like, oh jeez, here we go. Great song.
The just iconic, That clip of him as well when he's talking on camera, just being like, what does it sound like? What's that awful sound? So they're like, that's you. And he's like, yeah, turn it up or something like that, you know.
I know, yeah, it's awful. It sounds horrible. Turn it up.
Yeah, that's what I want. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for that wonderful surprise on the end there. We are going to be reacting in our Patreon section to the users submitted amps, of their dream amps, some of which they probably own, some of which they might not. So we're going to head over there now and talk about their submissions and react live to them. So make sure you head over there and check out our bonus episode if you haven't done so already. Chris, my dear, would you like to tell the mighty fine people where they can find you on the internet?
You can find me quite literally everywhere under That Guy on Bass. Give me a cheeky subscribe on YouTube if you're feeling generous. That is always very, very, very much appreciated. I've been a bit slow with the videos lately because, truth be told, I've been gigging myself half to death the last couple of weeks. But at the time this comes out, rolling into the following week, I've got 2 videos that I will be shooting and releasing ASA bloody P. And they're good ones as well. So, yes, if you're feeling nice, I'd love a subscribe. Jonny, where can the lovely people find you?
Well, big things coming soon, eh? For me, you can find me on YouTube and Instagram, just at Jonny Dibble. That's my name. One last bit of admin before we sign off. If you're listening on or listening platform of choice and not watching it on YouTube, then make sure you rate this podcast 5 stars. Every review really helps us reach more and more people out there, and puts us in playlists, adds us to algorithms and reach more people, so make sure you do all that good stuff. If you're not able to support us on Patreon, all of those things go a really, really long way, so we appreciate it and all levels of support. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for listening. See you next time.
Tatty bye.